Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining us tonight to benefit the Pomfret Food Pantry. We're going to get started at about 7:05. I know you guys are muted right now, but we're going to show you how to fix that to those who want to once the show gets started. Just bear with us a little bit longer. Thanks for your patience. Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining us. We're going to get started in about 5 minutes when Don comes out. I know that you're muted right now. We're going to show you how to fix that in just a little bit. If you would like to be unmuted, that way we can all hear applause and laughter and feel like we're actually at a show, pretend like we're not stuck in our houses. We'll get started in just a couple minutes. Thanks for your patience.
Hello, everyone. Nice to see you. I want to shout out to my friends over on YouTube too, and my friends inside the meeting here today. Um, Brandon, can we spotlight me there, buddy? Thank you. All right, well, I'm glad that you're here. Thank you for coming. We are at the Vanilla Bean. It doesn't look like it here because that's because I'm in my house, in my room. But the Vanilla Bean was one of the first places I ever performed. Barry and Maria, Barry hired me in 1991, maybe, and I've been playing there ever since. And of course, they're a restaurant, so we're trying to help them out a little bit today because they, struggling the way that restaurants are struggling these days. So, it's going to lay out the way that the night is going to happen tonight. We're going to talk a little bit here, and then I'm going to introduce Maria Sangiolo, a dear friend of mine. She runs the music at the cafe. She's going to talk to you about the fundraiser tonight, the group that we're raising money for. But let me just say ahead of time, this is a free concert. You're not obliged to donate, but if you're in a situation where you can, that would be great. We're helping out a food pantry in Pomfret, Connecticut tonight. We'll be sharing the money with them. So I'll introduce Maria. She's going to introduce our special guest today, somebody I'm really excited for you to see. Her name is Shanna, goes by the name Shanna in a Dress, and she opened for me at the Vanilla Bean the last time I played there in person, and I'm very excited. She's going to be zooming in from Colorado. She'll do a tune, and then I'll play, and then we'll have an after party. If anybody wants to hang around, we'll do a little song circle and hang around. So, the way that we do these shows, for those of you that are inside the meeting here, the mighty 11, is that I like to have people unmuted. So if you're in a quiet place, which means no dogs are going to bark, no fire engines are going to go by, no kids are going to come running through. With Zoom, one of the issues is that any sound that anybody makes, everyone can hear it. So if you open a bag of chips or something, it's just as loud as my thing is. So in order to get figure out who we want to unmute, if you're in a quiet place, if you go down to the bottom of your screen there's a participants icon here. Brandon will help you. Watch his little cursor there. So when you click on the participants icon right there at the bottom, it'll open up a screen for you, and on that screen there'll be a little blue hand. And the blue hand is the way that you raise your hand, like you are in a meeting at work. So if you're in a quiet place, and I know some of you are, Shanna, I'm sure you're in a quiet place, and whatever, raise your hand up, and Peter Lendorf, there you go. We might be able to get you all unmuted to some degree or another. There's not a ton of people in here now. So the more people that are unmuted, the more I can feel like I'm not just playing to the wall here, and I'm performing. So as we go along, Brandon, our tech god, is going to unmute you, and as long as it's quiet over there, we'll leave it that way. So anybody else wants to participate, go ahead and raise your hand up, and we'll do that, and we'll try to get a few people unmuted. So it is my pleasure now to introduce one of my favorite human beings in the world. I've known her since the late 80s. She sang on my early records. She's just a delightful human being and a dear friend of mine. So those of you that aren't muted, you can applaud this way. The rest of you can applaud for real so we can hear it. Let's hear it for Maria Sangiolo. There she is. Look at her. Oh, no sound, Maria.
There we go.
Oh,
There you go.
hello.
Hi.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Don. Hi, Don. It's nice to see you virtually. I'm here at the Vanilla Bean Cafe in Pomfret, Connecticut. Pomfret is located in the quiet corner of Connecticut in the northeast corner. We're about 40 miles from Providence, Rhode Island, 50 minutes from Hartford, Connecticut, about an hour and a half to Boston, Massachusetts. And we've been here for 30 years. We celebrated our 30th anniversary last August. We've been presenting live music for about 25 of those years, thereabouts. Almost all 30 years? Yeah, all 30 years. 24 of them with me in the picture. We do we usually present live music on Saturday nights, but the room is dark, has been dark since the middle of March. So we're hoping to do more of these live stream shows via Zoom from the venue. We're going to actually record artists coming to the venue, but playing without an audience in the room. So if you're interested in learning more about those concerts, you can email ask@thevanillabeancafe.com, and we will let you know when those concerts are happening on Zoom. We traditionally have had people like Don White, Tracy Grammer and Jim Henry, Peter Mulvey, Pierce Pettis, Sally Rogers, Claudia Schmidt, and Garnet Rogers, to name a few. Those are some of the people who have graced this stage and pretty much are here once a year. So we are very, very blessed to have our friend Don White do this show for us tonight. The Pomfret Food Pantry is in great need of financial support and food donations. If you live in town and you want to make a drop-by food donation, it's located in the community center at 207 Mashmucket Road. For those of you who are in need of food supplies, they're open from 5:30 to 6:30 p.m. on Monday nights, and on Tuesdays from 11:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. And you must make an appointment to pick up food. Call 860-928-2309. So without further ado, I'm really psyched to introduce the lady who was here to open for Don the last time he was here, Shauna in a Dress.
Thank you. Thank you for the introduction. Thanks, Don, for having me. And I thought I would kick off the night with, I don't know, maybe the most helpful message I've ever sent to the world via songwriting, because I wrote a song about how to turn on a woman. Oh, baby. Last night was so good. You were incredible. I can still picture it all right now. The way you brought in the groceries, the way you took out the trash, the way you remembered to feed the cat, then you unloaded the dishwasher. And when I got home from work, you had dinner on the table. I wanted you for dessert. Oh, I don't need a man with a face like bread, George Clooney's hair, Channing Tatum's abs, sporting a Rolex and a Cadillac. I like it if you look like you would be a good dad. That's hot. That's hot. That's hot. That's hot. So hot. That's hot. That's hot. That's hot. I like your dad bod. And oh, I can feel it. It's so hard and so smooth. Oh my gosh, I can't believe it. You finally sanded the table in the living room. Then I got hot and bothered when you answered my text right away. Then I got really tired and you said those magic words, okay, not today. Oh, I don't need a man with a face like bread, George Clooney's hair, Channing Tatum's abs, sporting a Rolex and a Cadillac. I said I like it if you look like you would be a good dad. That's hot. That's hot. That's hot. That's hot. So hot. That's hot. That's hot. That's hot. I like your dad bod, and I love how I don't have to babysit you at parties. 'Cause ladies, we all know that's the worst. They say nice guys finish last, and they're right. You always let me come first. Woo! I don't need a man with a face like that, George Clooney's hair or Channing Tatum's abs, sporting a Rolex and a Cadillac. audience sings with me. That's hot. That's hot. That's hot. That's hot. That's hot. I like your dad bod.
Yeah. Bravo. Bravo.
Anna, that's awesome.
That was awesome.
Thank you. I was rather proud when it came together. I figure if I could just get the like ladies of SNL to sing that,
Oh, yes.
that could be how I make my millions.
Right.
Absolutely. They should definitely call you now.
Yeah, they should. I agree. But with no further ado, he can make you laugh. He can make you cry. He's one of the best performers I've ever seen. Let's all give a big round of applause to Don White.
Yay. Yay.
Don.
Hey, how's my dad bod look tonight?
Looks great.
I'm so happy to be here. I want to shout out to my friends watching on YouTube over there. It's over there. YouTube is over there, I think. And so thanks for being here. Thanks for helping out. And let's play a few songs. So Shanna is going to be around later. If you want to hang out for the after party, we're going to do a little song circle. No telling what'll happen then. And so thanks for everybody for being here. Let's here. I got a better idea. Okay. I know a wife and a husband. They had a shiny little kid. When that kid turned 16, you won't believe what he did. He smoked a lot of marijuana. He snorted cocaine too. He told his parents he was gonna drop out of school. The father pounded on the table. The mother hollered and she screamed. They ran him down to the doctor. Doctor, what does this mean? He put them all on Prozac. Right then and right there. He said, you still have your problems, but now you just won't care. He prescribed a little therapy, some supplementary drugs, but he didn't write a script down for a little more love, just a little more love. What the heck could it hurt? It might not fix nothing, at least it won't make things worse. When you're looking at your lifetime from the end when you are done, you know it might look a little better, see a little more love. I know a wife and a husband, and they had a shiny little kid. When that kid turned 16, you won't believe what she did. She said, I'm sleeping over Susan's. That was just a big lie, 'cause what she really was doing was staying out all night. And when her parents found out, they cried boo-hoo-hoo. And then they called the radio talk show. They asked him, what should we do? He said, send her off to boot camp. That was his advice. It was good for his ratings, but it wasn't very nice. Just a little more love. What the heck could it hurt? It might not fix nothing, at least it won't make things worse. But when you're looking at your lifetime from the end when you are done, you know it might look a little better, see a little more love. I can see that you're a tough guy, you won't be pushed around. You're not going to take it, you're good at putting your foot down. You might get killed by lightning, you might get hit by a truck, but if you are not that lucky, you might just wind up spending years in a rest home without a whole lot to do. But look back on what you did with the time God gave you. Just a little more love. What the heck could it hurt? It might not fix nothing, at least it won't make things worse. When you're looking at your lifetime from the end when you are done, you know it might look a little better, big, rough, tough, gotta see a little more love. It might look a little better, see a little more love.
Thank you, Don.
You're welcome. Thank you. All right, so does anybody else out there feel like they are in a quiet enough place to be unmuted that you can raise your hands there by going in the participants window and clicking on the little blue hand, and we'll unmute you and see how it goes, because the more people that I can flirt with, the better I feel. I'm kind of flirty. There you go. All right. It's hard to flirt with people that are muted. Muted people are bad to flirt with. All right. So, if you notice, that song, if you're an English teacher, had a fantastic double negative in it, didn't it? Oh, we love our double negatives. I think double negatives are really important. And the way I feel about it is, when you use a double negative, it just says it the way it should be said. Like, just imagine, like, that Rolling Stone song, I can't get no satisfaction. That's a good double negative, don't you think? Like, how would it sound if you were like, I cannot acquire any satisfaction? It just wouldn't be right. That's what I'm saying. All right. I'm not sure that, I don't think this song has any double negatives in it. I went to California when I was young. Stood beside the highway, waved my thumb. I met a lot of maniacs, met a lot of bums. They were all really kind to me. Life is not like TV. People in Michigan say hello. People on the street that they don't even know. And drivers in Boston make a left-hand turn without turning their signal on. In 1993, if you were talking to yourself walking down the street, it was sad, because it meant that you were crazy. Now it means that you're a businessman. It's not crazy, but still kind of sad. I went to California when I was young. I stood beside the highway, waved my thumb. Met a lot of maniacs, met a lot of bums. They were all really kind to me. Life is not like TV. You know my boss is younger than my children are. I've got to tell you people, that is so bizarre. He's so adorable when he yells at me. It makes me want to pinch him on his cheek. Say coochie coochie coo coochie. I went to California when I was young. Stood beside the highway, waved my thumb. Met a lot of maniacs, met a lot of bums. They were all really kind to me. Life is not like TV. A lot of good musicians used to say to me, you can't play guitar, you can't sing, so you can never make it in this here scene. And I don't think that they were wrong. But I wonder where they all have gone. I went to California when I was young. I stood beside the highway, waved my thumb. I met a lot of maniacs, met a lot of bums. They were all really kind to me. Life is not like TV. People in Michigan say hello. People on the street that they don't even know. And drivers in Boston make a left-hand turn without turning their signal on. They're not thinking about you at all. They just keep on rolling, they keep on rolling, they keep on rolling along.
Woo! Yay! Woo!
There you go. And the crowd goes wild. The crowd is going wild. Hello, Neil Braverman. There you are. I see you.
Hey, Neil.
Neil, are you in a quiet place? You want us to unmute you? Yes? There you go.
Puppy is home, but he's quiet for the moment.
For the dog? Okay, if the dog starts barking, we'll shut the little box off. But
Yeah,
I
I
always
know
like
that.
to...
And Jenny, you are fabulous.
Neil Braverman was the person who did our food pantry thing last week. Did a fantastic job, and we raised some good money there, and it was great. Neil's a lovely man. I'm glad to see him. So Neil, here, I'm gonna play a song for Sarah, but I think I'll wait a little while because it's kind of a heavy song. But Sarah comes every week, and I feel obliged to do whatever she wants, you know, within reason. I'm still gonna wear clothes, Sarah. I'm sorry, but
Okay, that's okay. The jackpot is hot. You're good.
Sarah's good people.
I'm gonna play that for you in a little while. I just want to soften the space up a little first. It's one, but I practiced it today and it was good to play it. So
I trust you, my friend. I trust you.
You trust me, all right? Well,
I do.
those are famous last words for people. I gotta tell you. All right.
We're both lived in Lynn. We're okay. I trust you.
So, you know, this is not something you can do on YouTube, is it? Is have the audience yell at you from their little squares. It's good. All right, so here, let's do this one. If Sarah's from Lynn, Neil knows where Lynn is, the rest of you people, you're just gonna have to tolerate this. This is a song about my hometown. It's right out that window there. I was born in the city of Lynn, home of the first turbine engine. And as if that wasn't enough, it's now also the home of marshmallow fluff. You can travel the whole country, you'll never find a bigger fluff factory. From Lynn, what can I say? Peep from Lynn, act this way. Don't talk slick like I'm from the Hants. I'm the son of a 30-year GE man. Don't be staring at me that way. I'm from Lynn, what can I say? I used to hang around in Barry Park. That's illegal after it gets dark. Stand on the bleachers where things got smoked and beer was chug-a-lug. Bottles were broke. Later in the evening when the police come, 27 juveniles are on the run. Juvenile are running everywhere you see, jumping over fences, climbing in trees. But Don White is too loaded to get away. His name is in the paper. The next day, his mother and his father just can't believe he would publicly humiliate the family. Getting into it. Said, Mom from Lynn, what can I say? Peep from Lynn, act this way. Don't talk slick, that's what I said. I'm not from Swampscott or Marblehead. Don't be staring at me that way. I am from Lynn, what can I say? Woo. We are rocking the second floor of my house right now, I gotta tell you. On the corner of every street, somebody's cooking something greasy to eat. Deep fat is frying everywhere you look. The town is bound for the record books. A million sub shops open all night long. It's a socio-intestinal phenomenon. I've been writing songs since the 70s. I still think that's the best line I ever wrote. I'm from Lynn, what can I say? People from Lynn eat this way. There's no room in my stomach for French cuisine. Give me a bag of cheese curls in a submarine. Julia Child, get out of my face. I'm from Lynn, what can I say? That's how you know when a song's been around too long, when it actually has dead people in it. I left Lynn 10 years ago. I didn't know where I was gonna go. 10 of my friends were leaning up against a bar and grill. 10 years later, they're leaning there still. Half of my friends who are not on the street are dead in jail or annoying me. And I'm from Lynn, what can I say? People from Lynn act this way. Don't talk slick, that's what I said. They won't even let me into Marblehead. They're afraid I'll steal something.
And they're probably right.
And I just might. Don't be staring at me that way. I'm from Lynn, what can I say?
Oh, all right.
All right. Do you believe I wrote that song in the 70s? I wrote that song in the 70s, that's right. And it's still, I can still feel it when I play it. Although, all that business about teenagers running through the park and getting chased by the cops, that was a lot funnier to me before I had teenagers of my own.
Right.
All right. So, I haven't played this song probably in 10 years, I don't think. But I'm going to play it for Sarah. Sarah is coming to us from California, and she comes all the time, and she's just a good fan and a good human being. Does a lot of good things out in the world out there. So I want. Oh, there you go, Neil. There's your dog.
I'm mute. I'm muting.
It's all right. So let me tell you about this, which is funny because I was playing today, and in this song. So at the time I wrote this song, I don't know if anybody cares about how you write songs, but I'll just tell you. So I was so bored with my songwriting, which I am all the time, always looking for a challenge. And I was with a record company at the time, and they were trying to figure out how to market me. And I'm a hard man to market. And I don't know what do you call what I do? Nobody knows. I don't even know. So they used to say to me, don't bore us, get to the chorus, right? Like, I hated that so much. I just felt like, so you have to follow a formula, verse, chorus, bridge, like that. And I just was rebelling against that. So at first, my first thought was, I wonder if I can write a song that only has one note in it. That was my original idea. like the one note song. Just do, like that. But that was a little too challenging for me. So I set this challenge out for myself. I thought, can I write a song with really simple chords, like one chord or two chords in it, and but a song that has three different emotional agendas. Right, so that was the goal. This is like one of the most unmarketable songs in the history of the world. It has nothing, it has no bridge, it has nothing. But it has so it has a verse, and then a middle verse. Three verses basically, and they all have different agendas. Some are funny, some are conspicuously not funny, and then hopefully funny and sweet at the end. And I did it just as a challenge for myself and to satisfy my rebel spirit, to rebel against the bridge chorus thing. And it turned out to be a really popular song, but I got away from playing it because it's a hard place to go. It's not a true story. This is not a true story. It's something, it's fictional, but it's true for lots of people. And it's really a song about love. And it's so funny now because I was playing it today, and I am the age of the people that are in the characters that are in it now. My wife and I are the age of the people that I was writing about. So that's another weird thing about songwriting. Like they're like sleeper cells. They you write about them and then they reveal they're that you're actually the main character in it 15 years later or whatever. I think I wrote this song in 1998. It's called the MTV Love Song. It's back when MTV had music on it actually. So yeah, if you're young, this will make no sense to you at all, right? You never saw people dancing on MTV, right? I'm 64, she's 63. Our grandkids were over watching MTV. And there were women gyrating all over the screen with some amazing dance moves, if you know what I mean. There was a young man singing a song about love, while these women danced around him all shaking their stuff. I said, you don't think that I could handle those young wild girls? She said, there ain't enough Viagra in the whole wide world. Then she laughed that laugh that I love so well. It filled the room, it cast a spell. And while they sang about love on MTV, I sat and thought about what love means to me. Let's say you get married and you have a little boy, and for 3 sweet years he brings you love and joy. But before he turns 4, that kid gets sick, and Jesus comes to take him, and he takes him real quick. And when they lower him into that cold dark hole, they bury your heart and they bury your soul. And after that you walk around like you were still alive, but your heart is underground by that little kid's side. So how could you have known that your heart still lived inside the love of the mother of that little kid, and that when the time was perfect she would plant the seed in the hole where your old heart used to be, and with the right amount of water and the right amount of sun she'd bring you back among the living and back among the love. Do you really think love that is just about sex could ever grow you back a heart that was ripped from your chest? All these stupid young punks in the videos singing songs about love. What the hell do they know?
Woo!
Well, don't get me wrong, I love to see women gyrating on my TV. It is exciting, it's erotic, it's amusing, it's fun. It is a whole lot of things, but it's sure not love. This love I have known cannot be explained. It's the kind that finds heaven through the terror and the pain. It is a glance, a whisper, a prayer, it's a smile. It's even some gentle gyrations, you know, every once in a while.
Woo! Master Don, I love you.
Oh man.
Beautiful.
Thank you. All right. Well, I'm never sure what to do after that one. All right. Alrighty on the zombie woo. Let me tell you about the fall of '79. We were running out of. Let me tell you about the fall of '79. We were running out of money, running out of time, and we wound up picking pears way over in Washington. For 8 months before that, we were hitching down the road with a dog named Elijah. 1 year old, had that dog ever since she was a little pup. Now our baby was growing up. What got into Elijah, I just can't say. I guess she started reaching the curious age, and she had this aroma she was sending all over the land. And in every backyard for 4 or 5 miles, every male dog was howling and going wild. They were driving their owners crazy, but they didn't care. Dog love was in the air, jumping out of windows, breaking off chains. Poodles, Cocker Spaniels, German Shepherds, Great Danes, raunchy, rabid, ugly, mangy, mean. They were trying to find the orchard queen. I was in a tree, Elijah was right down beneath me. To my surprise, I saw 25 male dogs closing in on her. So I picked me a pear, I threw it on down. I hit a Cocker Spaniel, I knocked him to the ground. He got up quick, he was dazed, but he wasn't deterred. And so I threw down another, and I hit him on the head, and he went down hard. I thought he was dead, but he still went for Elijah after taking 2 direct hits. The little sucker was passionate. jumped from the tree, we ran to the shack, pursued by a horny, crazed wild dog pack, and our dog Elijah fought us every inch of the way. And when we got to the shack, we were both in shock, and we felt like we were in a movie by Hitchcock. We looked at each other, we didn't know what to say. How could our little girl act this way? You know, you try to bring them up right. You feed them Alpo and keep them tied at night. You try to teach them morals and teach them about society. And one day they're a sweet, innocent child. The next day you know they're all running so wild. Elijah, I never thought you would turn out to be the picture of promiscuity. Alright, so I have to tell you, I live in a town where that word, nobody knows what that word means. It's not a word that we learned in school, promiscuity. And so we learned how to behave that way, but we didn't know what to call it. That's what I'm saying. So when I play this song back in the days when I used to play it a lot in Lynn, where I live here, I would change it into the local dialect, that little line there. So in case you're ever in Lynn, and I know I have some friends from Lynn here and over on YouTube, so this is the way I would say it, so my friends from my community would be able to understand it. And this is, I'm just trying to be helpful here. Elijah, I never thought you would turn out to be wicked, slutty. Just picture this, me singing this in a church basement somewhere. It just wouldn't really work. That night when we got, next morning, I took a pair of my BVD underwear and I put them on Elijah and I put her tail through the little hole. Let's all try to picture that in our little square today. And I let her run free in the orchard that day. And every male dog in Washington state took a try at Elijah, but the only thing they felt was the low-budget chastity belt. That night when we got to the shack, I took the underwear, I threw them out back. They were wet and they were dirty and I didn't think much of it. I didn't realize they were the equivalent of the Holy Grail in the male dog population. Silly me, because Lord Almighty, what happened then when the male dogs got a good whiff of them? It was the biggest dog riot that there ever was anywhere. It was over Elijah's underwear. They fought and rumbled and they brawled all night. They were killing one another till the morning light. They were fighting to the death for the greatest prize anywhere. And when it all was finished, when it all was done, the Doberman Pinscher was the champion. He was wounded but he looked so triumphant standing there with Elijah's underwear. He won them fair and square. They were tore to shreds, he didn't care. He looked so proud standing there. There you go. That's a spiritual number if I ever heard one.
Yeah.
Super classy.
Classy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I played in a lot of church basements over the years where for some reason they wouldn't hire me back after playing that. I'm not sure exactly.
Too bad.
Too bad for them. Sarah who lived in Lynn. All right. So, here. All right. All right. So here, let me do this one. This is a pretty new one, and this is about my town too. You know, there's so many problems in the world, but this is a big one here. It's a problem with opiates, and so I wrote this song, and I created a nice version of it, a produced version, which if this, you know, kind of got put on hold here because of all that's going on, but once I'm done with it, I'm going to give it to this organization called Learn to Cope, and I'm going to let them raise money for it. Learn to Cope is a support group for the people who love an opiate user, right? Right. So it's not for the user; it's for the people who love them. And this is real to me. My daughter's generation is decimated by this, and I don't want to get, you know. Well, I'll be really funny after this, I promise. It's called For the Loved Ones of the Lost Ones. They were not just statistics, our children had names. Don't say they were junkies, and they all are the same, 'cause they each had potential to do something great, until heroin stole that potential away. And now we are the loved ones that they left behind, and we keep the memories of them alive, and we speak the words that they want to say to all of you who are still using today. In the name of our daughters, in the name of our sons, in the name of all the beautiful lost ones we love, behind all your sorrow, behind your despair, we see only the light that's still shining in there. Each morning at the moment I open my eyes, and the weight of my loss crashes down on my life. I remember the night that my son came to me and spoke comforting words to me in a dream. He said, don't give up on those with sad broken lives. Tell them you still see the light in their eyes. Offer them help and hope every day, and I will be there beside you each step of the way. In the name of our daughters, in the name of our sons, please take this help so you might be the one who gets clean and comes back here with all that it takes to help us save these broken angels in this place. We can save these broken angels, save these broken angels, save these broken angels for the loved ones of the lost ones. Save these broken angels, save these broken angels, save these broken angels for the loved ones of the lost ones. 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 For the loved ones of the lost ones.
That was beautiful.
Thank you.
Uh,
Thanks, everybody. So, let's see. So, who do we have in the room now? I don't really like playing around over here, but I do want to let you know that if you want to be unmuted, raise your hand up and we'll unmute you if you're in a quiet place. If you're in a quiet place, no dogs are barking, raise your hand up. The way you raise your hands up, click on the participants thing down the bottom. You see the blue hand, you raise it up, and we'll let you join in the audible portion of our program here today. So, I have been married to my wife Teresa for I think going on 42 years. 42 years will be this fall. How about that? That's not bad, right? And this is a song that I wrote because she's just the right person for me. In the 18, 20, 35, 41 years that we have been wed, I wondered if you ever heard a word I said. Till I said, pass that remote control over here, and you told me to blow it out my ear. I love you, you're a sassy brat. You make me mad and you make me laugh. God, please don't cut our time in half. Let me grow old with my sassy brat. When my fans call up and say that I'm great, you tell them that that is a huge mistake. That if they had to live with me, they would understand what a big pain in the ass I am. I love you, you sassy brat. You make me mad, you make me laugh. God, please don't cut our time in half. Let me grow old with my sassy brat. There are men that like women that they can dominate, who bring them breakfast in bed and always tell them that they're great. Well, my sassy lady never does that for me, but at least a life with her is definitely not boring. She says if you want me to believe that you're great, do a couple loads of laundry around here someday. Hey pal, it's only because you're still kinda cute that I haven't already gotten rid of you. I love you, you sassy brat. You make me mad, you make me laugh. God, please don't cut our time in half. Let me grow old with my sassy brat. You say the kids have both gone to the show. How about a little quickie before they come home? And I say, I suppose you think you're really slick, the way that you keep emphasizing little and quick. It's not that funny. I'm not that sure I love you, you're a sassy brat. You hurt my big fat ego and you make me mad. Please don't cut our time in half. Let me grow old with my sassy brat. Sassy bratty lady has been hanging around here, driving me crazy. 41 years, if I could ever afford to see a psychiatrist, I'd ask him why the hell do I like being treated like this. We were in bed, but we were still awake. You said I really love you, this life we've made. I said, hey, can I quote you on what you just said? You told me if I did, you'd punch me in the head. I love you, you sassy brat. You make me mad, you make me laugh. God, please don't cut our time in half. Let me grow old with my sassy brat. I hope it's not too much to ask. Let me grow old. With my sassy brat. All right.
I love that.
Thanks, Don. Thank you.
You're welcome. And thank you. Thanks for being here. Thanks for supporting live virtual music in this world. So here, this is what we're gonna do. I'm gonna sing song now, and then we're gonna take just a 3-minute break or so. And what we're gonna do during that break is kind kind of virtual pass the hat. And so Brandon will put the Venmo and the PayPal and how you can send a check and all that stuff up there. And don't forget that we're sharing the money with underneath the umbrella of the Vanilla Bean. The Vanilla Bean's not taking any money here. They want the community to know that they're supporting the community the way they always have, and this is a community outreach thing. So, and you know, again, if you don't have any money, I understand that. You know, I love you and you're welcome, and don't worry about it. But if you're in a position to drop a few bucks in the hat, we'll share it with the food pantry and feed some people. And so after that, I'll do about 20 minutes or so, and then we'll have a little question and answer period if that's, you know, if that works, and then we'll have an after party.
Woo!
The after party is
Party.
the after party rocks, and it's gonna rock tonight.
Yes.
I'm telling you, we're gonna have a little song circle, some surprise guests. Shanna's gonna come back and sing. I think I'm gonna talk Maria into singing,
Woo!
and you know, too bad we can't sing together on this thing. There's a delay, so it's hard. But if anyone figures that out, man, they're gonna be a wealthy person, because all musicians want to be able to sing together on this stuff. But too bad, because Maria and I have could sing together, but we won't be able to do that today. But we will have a nice after party, and all you guys over on YouTube, you're welcome to hang out with us too. So here we go. So there is a little girl with pretty curls. She's about 5 years old, and she is waiting at the gate for her dad to come home. When he pulls around the corner in his shiny white car, she feels the magic light up in her heart. And he picks her up and he holds her. He says he missed her. He's glad that she is here. As the child lays her head on her shoulder, she whispers these words in his ear. Daddy, I know exactly what love is. Love is real simple and true. Love is this feeling my heart gets when I'm being held close by you. Now she's 20 and there's plenty of love everywhere. She's getting married, so her family and her friends are all there. They've gathered this morning to stand at her side as she waves goodbye to this time in her life. And they each take a moment to hold her and to tell her what she means to them. In a world that seems to keep getting colder, she has been blessed with a warm family and friends. She says, I know exactly what love is. Love is real simple and true. Love is this feeling my heart gets when I'm being held close by you. Now they are 60 and their history spans 40 odd years. They have buried their parents and now their grandkids are here. There's something about the way they look in each other's eyes that speaks softly about the meaning of a life. And when he puts his arm out to hold her, it feels so familiar and warm. She thinks love is an expanding endeavor till your last breath from the moment you're born. Now she is 80 and she hates being in this nursing home. Her man's been gone now for a long while and she feels so alone. She closes her eyes, and she begins to pray that a little comfort might just come her way. And God lifts her up and he holds her. And she remembers this feeling she has. She is not a woman whose life is almost over. She's a little girl being held by her dad. And God, I know exactly what love is. Love is real simple and true. Love is this feeling my heart gets when I'm being held close by you. And God, love is real simple. Love is real simple. Love is real simple and true.
Thank you, John. Beautiful, as usual. Beautiful.
Thank you. So when you're tomorrow, when people ask you, oh, wasn't that a comedy show you went to online last night? And you can say, it was the worst fucking comedy show I ever went to. I thought you said this guy was funny. What was that? What was that? Okay. I love you all. And I'm gonna take just a 3-minute break here. If you have the means and you're interested in it, drop a little money in the hat, and we will share it with the food pantry in Pomfret. I'll be back in just maybe 2 or 3 minutes, and then we'll do another 20, and then we'll scoot over to the after party.
Woo!
Thank you. There you go. Shut that off.
Bye, Sally.
a song that I'm practicing for the day when I can go out in public again with my wife and be close to people and let them breathe on me. I can't wait to have people breathe on me again, honestly. But I think it's going to be a while out. So I'm just keeping this song tuned up for when it's time to be able to use it. I've got $300 bills that are all brand new. They are begging me to think of something cool to do. How about I'll take you downtown and spend them all on you? I don't want to stay home tonight. We have worked so hard for so many years, built a home, a life, a family, and 2 careers. Saved our money for the future, now the future is here. I don't want to stay home tonight. I can't stay home again tonight. I can't stay home again tonight. I can't stay home, can't stay home. I need you and me. How it used to be every week on Friday night. There is so much history that only we can see. Can't stay home again tonight. Me and Michael, Johnny, Richard, Ruthie, and Joan all had bouts with cancer last year, you know. If cancer was a man, I would punch him in the throat. I don't want to stay home tonight. Time isn't sentimental, it doesn't seem to care about your plans or your hopes and dreams. It just keeps track of all your minutes and it wipes the slate clean. I don't want to stay home tonight. I can't stay home again tonight. I can't stay home again tonight. I can't stay home, can't stay home. I need you and me. How it used to be every week on Friday night. There is so much history that only we can see. Can't stay home again. Well, I know we can't party like we did before. Can't stay out till 4 in the morning no more. But the house is paid off and the kids are all grown. What the hell have we been working for? Let's take a nap. Take our inhalers. Take a multivitamin. Then go out to hear some music with all of our friends who didn't die from the way we used to party back then. I don't want to stay home tonight. And time isn't sentimental, it doesn't seem to care about your plans or your hopes and dreams. It just keeps track of your minutes and it wipes the slate clean. I don't want to stay home tonight. I can't stay home again tonight. I can't stay home again tonight. I can't stay home, can't stay home. I need you and me. How it used to be every week on Friday night. There is so much history that only we can see. Can't stay home, can't stay home. I can't stay home again tonight.
Thank you, Dawn.
You're welcome, and the crowd goes wild, and the crowd goes totally wild. All right, I'm going to tell you a story. So let's see. This is the way this is going to play out. So I just did that song. I'm going to tell a story, do another song, maybe one after that, and then that'll be the ending. So let's review. We just did the one song, going to tell a story, another song, that'll be like the fake ending of the show, and then there'll be the real ending of the show, and then we'll go to the after party where you just never know what's going to happen. And you don't have to come. You can stay. You can go. You know, you could. I'd say you could go home, but you're already home, aren't you? Okay, now, so here we go. Now, I want to tell this story. This is a story about when I was a young man. I was a young man. My wife and I hitchhiked for 3 years. Do you believe that? You're looking at somebody who stuck his thumb out on the side of the road with his girlfriend for 3 years. That's impossible. I feel like a person who used to make buggy whips when I say that. I can't believe that it actually happened. But we did. We just got hopelessly addicted to hitchhiking and freedom and not having to be anywhere and not having to go back to anything and just living in the moment. And I was from this brickyard factory town, so I went out and I hung around with like hippies and kundalinis and hung around in ashrams. I am from Lynn, Massachusetts. I'm not supposed to know what a kundalini is, but I do because I hitchhiked and I traveled. And then I decided when we were done with that, we moved to Maine. I moved to Maine because I wanted to become famous. That's right. It was the first in a series of really interesting business decisions on my part. I moved to Maine to become famous. That's right. And I had no marketable skills, none. I couldn't do anything. I was an excellent hitchhiker, but that didn't really jump off the resume, I must say. So the people that lived up there, they didn't really like us. They called us flatlanders. Have you ever heard that term, flatlanders? They call us flatlanders. Make sure that we know that we're not from there all the time. Flatlanders, not from here, coming up here, trying to buy our land. Well, I couldn't buy bread. I didn't have no money. So my neighbor across the street, his name was Wilbur, and Wilbur, he would torture us about not being from there, call us flatlanders, but he also was nice to us. That's kind of a Maine thing. Like, they could be mean to you and help you not die too. Like they taught us how to cut firewood, and he ran a hose underneath the street through the culvert so we could have running water. I lived in a house with no running water in a 2-seater outhouse. My parents were so disappointed in me. They were so disappointed. Like, my dad kept saying to me, I never told you this, but I dropped you on your head when you were little, and I think this is the result of it. I think this is what happened. And so anyway, when my son was born in that house, he was born in a house with no running water and no plumbing in 1980. And we had a midwife. She came to the house with a technician and delivered him in my bedroom, right? So she came. We had prenatal care for a month, postnatal care for a month, and then the delivery. The whole cost of that, the entire cost of the whole thing across the board, $400. $400. It was like a Walmart baby. I think we had like a Walmart baby that day. And so when he was born, we brought him over to Wilbur. We said, Wilbur, you can say what you want about us. We're not from here, but this is a Mainer. He was born in Maine. He was born in that house right there in Maine. And Wilbur said this to me, and I hope you understand how funny this is. I'm not going to be able to hear you laugh, really, but I assume you will all laugh at this in your life, because this is really one of the meanest, funniest things I ever heard in my life. Typical of your very smart Maine guy, right? I said, Wilbur, this is a Mainer. He's born right there. And he said, well, if your cat crawls in the oven and has kittens, you don't call them biscuits, now do you? Is that funny? And isn't it
That is
mean?
very funny.
I'm like, Wilbur, that hurt. That hurt my feelings. So I got a job finally. I got a job in a nursing home. And I have to tell you this. I'm around a lot of young people in my life. I started an open mic here in Lynn for spoken word, and it's directed specifically to people that wouldn't come to an open mic. They wouldn't go in a church. They wouldn't go to a social services. They're kind of the feral children of my community. They're raising themselves. They're homeless lots of times. So I created a place for them where they can say what they want, and it's called Speak Up. And so I'm around a lot of 20-year-olds, and I remember, I look in their eyes and I remember this feeling from when I was 20. It's the terror of not knowing how you're going to make it in the world. And I think in these times with the economy the way it is, it's especially hard on young people now. But I remember it. I would wake up every morning and I could feel as soon as I was conscious, my heart would race. It would race because I was terrified about the future. I had no marketable skills. I couldn't do anything. I had a new baby. I didn't know how I was going to feed it. I was hitchhiking back and forth to work in the snow. And I just all day long till I went to bed, just a racing heart with trepidation for the fact that I couldn't imagine how my future would turn out okay. I just couldn't picture it. So I got this job at a nursing home, and it turned out to be one of the greatest things that ever happened to me, because I was trying to figure out what kind of man I was going to be and how I was going to make it in the world. I was at the beginning of my journey into adulthood, and I was surrounded by people whose stories were ending. It was such a fantastic moment for me, because while I was trying to figure out what my trajectory in my life was going to be, every room that I went into showed me what a story looked like at the end. If you live this kind of life, this is what it looked like at the end. This person, that person, that person. And I was absorbing this, taking it all in, trying to figure out what kind of life I was going to be, and just trying to gather this information. And so a lot of people in the nursing home were sad, as you can imagine. But there was a person there, his name was Mr. Bishop, and I'll never forget him. I'm 63 years old now, and to this day, he is the saddest person I ever met in my life. And the reason is very interesting why he was sad. He wasn't evil, he wasn't a wicked guy, he didn't kill anybody, he just wasn't kind. He wasn't a nice person. You know, he went to work, he came home, he yelled at his wife, had a few beers, went hunting, pushed people out of the way to get the job that he wanted in the mill. You know, he was that guy, right? Insular, not kind, not giving, right? And he was smart enough to know that what he did, the way he spent his life, wasn't going to give him any peace now that it was ending. That he was only going from the bed to the ground, and the reason for his sadness, for his like Shakespearean sadness, like deep level of sadness, was because he wasn't kind, and he knew it, and he would have given me his whole life savings if I could have sent him backwards for a year just to spread I love yous around so we could hold them in his hand in the nursing home. But it was too late for him, and he knew it. And I hated going in his room. I hated it. There was like a dark cloud in there all the time. I just couldn't stand it, you know. And then on the other side of the building was Maddie Campbell. Maddie Campbell was 89 years old in 1978. So she was born in the 1800s, in the 1890s. And in her room, the sun was always shining. And at first I thought because she had southern exposure, but it wasn't. It was because her life made sense to her. The light was coming from her. She didn't need to change a thing in her life, because when she looked back at her time allotment that she had, it was just decade upon decade of kindness, generosity. If you need help, you know, put some soup on your buckboard, drive it through the snow 2 miles down the road to somebody's house, make sure they're warm, make sure they stay overnight if they're sick. Like her whole life was that. When she looked back at it, that's what she saw, and she glowed. She glowed at the end of her life. She didn't need to go back and change a minute. And I was looking at these two things, Mr. Bishop and Maddie Campbell, and I didn't know how to become anything, but I was hoping that my trajectory wouldn't end me up this way, you know, like this guy. So what happened was Maddie Campbell adopted me. She adopted me. Excuse me. She just took me under her wing, and every day I would finish my work in 2 hours. You know, I was a janitor. I'd just come and sit beside her, and she would talk to me and teach me things about life. And I would complain about how hard my life was, and she would listen with her eyes closed. You know how the elderly sometimes will lean their head back and listen with their eyes closed? And she would do that. And then she would listen carefully, and she'd open one eye and say, "Are you sure you're being honest with yourself?" And I would like try to muster some sort of response, and she would just wave like to say, "I'm tired, go think about that, come back tomorrow," right? And she would do it to me every day, and I just loved her. And what happened was, little by little, she would teach me things, and I could feel the racing in my heart start to slow down a little bit, because as she was feeding me this wisdom and these little stories about how life really works, I began to get the idea that maybe even somebody like me, who was making really bad decisions at the time, maybe someone like me might be able to manifest a life that he could be proud of. The possibility of that was given to me by this woman, and she was funny. She was really funny. One day she handed me a piece of paper. She goes, "Here." I go, "What's this?" She goes, "That's my epitaph." I opened it up, and it said, "Here lies Maddie. She had 1,000,000 ills. It wasn't those that killed her. It was the 500,000 pills." And I'll give you one example of how she taught me. It was a very gentle and smart way. So I was complaining to her one day about how I needed to borrow money from my parents. I didn't want to do it. I knew they'd give it to me, but I was saying, "Maddie, I want to be able to take care of myself. I'm so sick of people having to help me. And she said, it's your responsibility to let the people who love you help you. And I said, no, it is not my responsibility, Maddie Campbell. She goes, how do you feel when someone you love is in trouble and you are able to help them? I go, that's different. And she goes, do you? I go, I like that feeling. She goes, do you love it? I go, as a matter of fact, I do love that feeling. And she said to me, well, why would you deny the people who love you this feeling that you love so much? And I was 20 years old. It made my head pop. Like I could feel it go pop like that. And I could feel synapses being created to accommodate a new concept that I wouldn't have come across on my own till I was 50. I assure you of that. And she just gently just fed me these little pieces of wisdom, and slowly I began to think that maybe I could make it in the world. It was a very generous thing and a very special moment. We were like, you know in geometry how two lines cross like this and they're on their way to different ends of infinity, like different directions of infinity, and they just meet in one place? That's what we were. I was stepping into my life, and she was stepping out, and we were just meeting for this one little time right here. And she was just imparting this stuff to me. Now, as I said, I'm 63 years old, and I've always thought that it was really, I was the beneficiary of all of this. But now that I think about it as an older person, I think it must have meant something to her too, because nobody came to see her. I was the only person that ever came to see her, and it must have meant something for her to find somebody who wanted this wisdom on the way out. Like, you know, she would have took that in the ground with her, and the wisdom that she had was born in a time that didn't exist anymore. Like, it would have been hard to find somebody as wise as her in 1978. It would be impossible now, because her wisdom was manifested in 1890, 1910, 1920, 1925. In the state of Maine, no combustion engines, no nothing. You know, moose meat, the availability of moose meat and the kindness of strangers was how they survived then. And that's how she got wise. That's the wisdom she was giving me. So it was very generous and very important for me. So she died. Of course she died. She was old. She died. And I was heartbroken. Busted. I was busted. I knew I had, you know, I was going to have to put on my big boy pants and make these decisions on my own. And that night I had a dream. And in the dream, Maddie was in the dream. And I walked over to her in this dream, and she had her hands cupped like this. And when I got close to her, she opened them up. And inside her hands were thousands of sparkling diamonds. And I knew it. I knew it in the dream, and I knew it at 20 years old. I knew what was happening. Every moment in your life where you do the kind thing, not because you want something back, but because it's the right thing to do. Every moment in your life when you do the generous thing, the kind thing, just because it's the right thing to do, all those moments get compressed into a diamond. And Maddie Campbell's last gift to me, after, you know, in this dream, was that she was showing me the thousands and thousands of sparkling diamonds of a life well lived, sparkling moments of a life well lived, at a time when that's really what I needed to see. And she wasn't showing them to me so that I could see how many there were. I think my takeaway from it was that she was showing me so that I could see the look on her face as she gazed upon them at the end of her life. You know, she was looking at all her beautiful, kind moments, and there was such a peace on her face, and she was saying, I think, to me, you know, do what you can to be this way at the end, to have this at the end. And it affected my life to this minute. And I made all kinds of decisions and been a jerk and done all that, but I've always kept this in mind. And so just before the dream was over, she called me over to her, and she whispered in my ear, and I'm going to say it to you now. I'm going to give Maddie Campbell my voice to speak to you. She would be 130 years old now. So this is my gift to her, is to let her say to you what she said to me in this dream. She said, in the end, the person with the most diamonds wins. That's my story. Hope you like it.
Thanks, Don. Woo! Go, Maddie.
You're the best. All right, so here, this is the fake ending of the show now. This is the pretend ending of the show. So I'm going to play this song, and then, you know, my four people that are, you know, that are not muted, but maybe they'll applaud for me after, and the rest of you can applaud this way. Here, do you know how to put if because I'm spotlighted, if you put gallery on, will it, like, Sarah, where are you?
I'm right here.
When you put gallery on, will it give you the whole screen of squares?
Yeah.
Okay, so everybody do that. Like, put the gallery thing on there, and then
Right in the corner.
all right, so I can see you all now. So here, do this. All the people in the little squares, wave your arms like you just don't care. All the people in the little squares, wave your arms like you just don't care. Everybody say whoa.
Whoa.
Ladies and gentlemen, you have just participated in the worst rap show in the history of the world. Thank you very much. All right, so you know, I know how hard the world is now. The fact that I don't talk about it in this thing here, that you can just feel, maybe you can see it in my eyes, that I ache for the world right now. I am, you know, my heart is big, and I don't like seeing suffering in the world, you know. Just that's all I have to say about it, is that I'm trying to manage both things, being playful and mischievous. And I would say this to you, Shanna, wherever you are out there too. It's your job, if you're an entertainer, especially if you're funny, to not ignore the suffering in the world, to be aware of it and to feel it, but not let it take your joy and your mischief away from you. That's the job. People need us to defend our playfulness, so that they know that it's defendable. And so that's kind of where I'm at now. But don't mistake my playfulness for a lack of understanding how difficult this moment in time is. You know, I have, my sister works in a hospital. There's a lot going on. So I love you. Here, this is called "It's a Great Day to Not Be Dead." Pretty hard sentiment to argue with, no matter what side of the political spectrum you find yourself on. So I'll do this. We'll sneak in one more, then we'll call this part of it over. If you want to go home or downstairs or whatever, go ahead. And then the rest of us will hang out and we'll have a little song circle. I was on the highway, I was cruising along, I decided to put my seatbelt on. A minute later, baby, would you believe a Big Mac truck crashed into me? I told the policeman that I was okay. He said your seatbelt saved your life today. Ambulance driver, EMTs, they all started singing this song to me. They said it's a great day to not be dead. Shoop-doo-wah, shoo-wah, shoo-wah, to not cave in your windshield with your head. Oh, with your head you are an ugly man, but if that occurred, believe me, you would be even uglier. And it's a great day to not be dead. Shoo-doo-wah, shoo-wah, shoo-wah. You know, a long time ago, I saw a news story on my TV set about a guy whose wife brought a knife to bed. Do you remember that guy?
On it.
Mr. Bobbitt, that's right. 1 hour later, as the story goes, a part of his anatomy was laying by the road. Well, my sassy wife looked over and she smiled at me. She started singing this song, tell me. She said, hey, it is a great day to not be dead. Shoop-doo-wah, shoo-wah, shoo-wah. To not have your wife bring a knife with her to bed. Shoop-doo-wah, chop, chop, whoa. She said, I yell, I scream, I complain a lot, but at least I haven't cut no body parts off, and it's a great day to not be dead. Shoop-doo-wah, shoo-wah, shoo-wah. Not cutting body parts off is a pretty good quality in a wife, really, when you think about it. If you're with somebody tonight and you've been with them any length of time and you're still put together anatomically the way you were when you first met, I don't think it's inappropriate to say thank you. Oh, look, in the little squares, we're having little tender moments all over the place here. Over on YouTube, say thank you. I thought about my car crash, my close call. Then I started getting sentimental. Said I love this house, love you guys. Even love my rusty old car outside. And I'm so happy to be alive with you. Let's do all the things we always said that we would do. 'Cause it's a great day. It is a great day. It is a great day. It is a great day. It's a great day to not be dead. Thank you. Oh, bravo, bravo, bravo.
Encore!
The mighty 12 say encore.
Encore! Encore!
Wow, they're getting rowdy. I overheard a man complaining how his 401k was not performing quite how you would like it to. As he sipped his double latte and continued to complain, I thought about that day in 1982. We were living in the shack with the outhouse in the back. If I'm not mistaken, you were pregnant too. We thought it might be funny to count up all of our money and discuss all the investing we could do. We pulled our pockets inside out, pulled the cushions off the couch, stuck our fingers way down deep inside, and emptied out the pockets of the jackets in our closet, but not one single penny did we find. So after the realization our financial situation was not conducive to investment at this time, we decided to invest in what we've always done best. We danced around the kitchen for a while, we do the victory dance. When life is such a mess, we don't know what else to do. We do the victory dance. When being penniless became literal to me and you. Well, you can jump off of a building, take a bunch of pills, you can walk around in a trance. But if you wake up in the morning on the right side of the lawn, go on, do the victory dance. I got fired from a job I have been working at for 20 years faithfully. Oh dear, oh God, oh my, how will I ever survive without a corporation taking care of me? I was so stressed out for weeks I couldn't eat, I couldn't sleep. I didn't think that things would ever turn my way. Then a couple months went by, began to realize, man, I really hated working at that place. So I started working for myself, improved my mental health. Now I'm happier than I've ever been before. Oh dear, oh my, oh God, I should have quit that stupid job 19 years ago. I do the victory dance. My life forces me to go out on my own. And then I just declare victory and I march my army home. There are things you can't control, things you'll never know. Some things are always left to chance. If you're a clerk or you're a farmer, work from home in your pajamas. Man, there's a ton of people doing that right now. If your health is getting worse, but you can still flirt with the nurse. If the world has gone to hell and you can't find Purell. If you're stuck in a tiny house with your children and your spouse. If they canceled all your shows and you got nowhere to go and now you're sitting in your room doing concerts on something called Zoom. What? And you wonder what it means to play music to a computer screen. And across the top are little squares. And all your friends are trapped inside of there. And you say to your friends trapped in the squares, are you guys all okay in there? You know, trapped in a square on a computer screen is just a metaphor for quarantine. If you lose your money, but you still got your honey. If you lose your honey, but you still got some money. If you find it hard to cope because your kids are all on dope, don't surrender yet. Try not to forget in this game of life we're in. In this game of life we're in. In this game of life that we are in. If you don't die, you win.
Woo! Thank you, Don.
You're welcome. All right, so that is the official end of this concert. I am glad to have you. If you want to hang around, you never know what's gonna happen. We'll have a little song circle, and it'll be more chatty over there. So I think what we'll do is we'll throw the Venmo up just for a minute, and then if anybody has any questions they want to ask me before we get to the song circle, we'll do that. Okay, so Brandon, if you want to just do that, and then we'll be back in just a minute. And if you've had enough of me, believe me, I would understand that. Go ahead, check out. It's no problem. But if you want to hang around, I'm gonna hang around for a while too. All right.
We want some more. We want some more. I highly recommend hanging out. The after shows have been amazing.
Okay. All right. Well, so welcome. So here, Brandon, will you knock out all of these raised hands over here? If anybody wants to talk to me, sort of one-on-one now, raise your hands again, and we'll spotlight you, and we can chat a little bit. It'll be a public conversation. Everyone will hear it. Hi, Janet. Hi, dear. Wow, good. But if so, do you know how to do that, everybody? You click on the participants button, and down the bottom, and click on the blue hand, and if not, let's just go and start the song circle. I'm really sick of talking, to be honest with you. So,
We love to hear you.
all right. So I tell you what. Let's unmute as many people as we can get away with here, and just remember that when people are playing, you have to be quiet. So, I have two special guests with me today that I asked to come in. They live in Illinois, in Chicago. Right. So I want you to welcome Robin and Jenny Beneman. So they're going to be our sort of surprise guests here today. So give them a welcome. Let's see if we can find them. There they are right there. Look at Chicago looks good, doesn't it? Chicago looks great.
Don, that story about the woman who ends up with all those diamonds, I still have shivers.
Addie.
Maddie, yeah. Pardon?
Eddie Campbell.
Maddie Campbell. She was her family was famous. I think her family is in a book called Come Spring about Maine. I think the Campbells are in it, which was a book about how hard it was to live up there in the 1800s. But yeah, she she did a lot for me, and I love the story myself, so I'm glad you liked it.
Beautiful.
All right, so I'm so glad you guys are here, and so I'm so glad to share you with my friends and everybody. So this is a special part of this thing, where I get to like showcase people that I love. So go for it, you guys. Play us a song.
Isn't that nice?
Isn't it nice? We didn't. You needn't regret what you didn't do or ever miss the aching bliss of a lingering kiss between us. Aren't we glad we didn't? We can be proud of the way we didn't behave. Your fingertips upon my hips did not eclipse the space between us. What never unfolded need never be told. We did nothing but hold each other back, back, back. What never unfolded need never be told. We did nothing but hold each other. Isn't it good we didn't discover what might have been true? How breathtakingly good it could be, you and me becoming me. Isn't it nice?
Man,
Beautiful.
wow.
Hey, we wrote that together.
Wow, that was awesome. That was 10 kinds of awesome. I run a forum for artists on Mondays, just figuring out how to navigate this thing. I've been doing it for 6 or 7 weeks, and one of the things that we're learning about is how to use the camera. So that was, a great song, but excellent use of the camera, I thought. I think you're going to see people learning this, that you're playing you're playing to a camera these days. And that was just magnificent. Let's have another round of applause for the Benjamins.
Yeah.
All right, so she's been waiting since 7 o'clock. Her original song there. Let's see if Shanna in a dress will help us out with another.
All right, Shanna.
There she is.
Hey, what a great show, Don and Jenny, and what's the other name?
Robin.
Like a bird.
Jenny and Robin. That was awesome. So unique. I loved it.
Thank you.
All right. I was thinking about what I wanted to play for you guys, and this has been my favorite one lately. I am no longer in a relationship as of December 16th and have been really like jaded / intimidated about the idea of online dating. And I was like, instead of setting up a profile and everything, can't I just have a song that explains everything you would need to know about me? And like, if they're still interested by the end of the song, then like they could message me. So I have yet to actually put this song on an online dating profile, but now I feel like this could be my COVID business. So if you know anyone who thinks needs like a personal ad put into a song, here's what I did for myself.
Great idea.
Nice.
First date, oh, you have a nice face. It's small talk over coffee. We go over the basics, a bunch of little facts that really don't matter. I'll start with my family, end with the data. I have 2 older brothers, one's in tech, one's a chiropractor. My family's from Buffalo, but that's not where I grew up. Went to school at UVA, wahoo, got my BA. That was an expensive way to make good friends. I'm a 7 on the Enneagram. I have a 67.5-inch wingspan. My birthday is 2/19. I'm on the cusp of Aquarius and Pisces, but neither match much. Play 5 instruments, but only one of them well. I'm a size 10 shoe, and I never tell my middle name. I have 4 eyes and 1 persistent cough, and 10 toes only 'cause they cut the 11th one off. Do you wanna go out with me? Do you wanna go out with me? I play a mean horse on the basketball court, and walking with the dog is my favorite sport. I do cat and cow and yoga if it makes me sweat, and I go down rabbit holes on the internet. By now you know what I look like when I'm not dressed fancy, that I don't like to drink unless it tastes like candy, and I could be a vegetarian if it weren't for chicken wings, and I put Frank's Red Hot on everything. I get freaked out by people touching their eyes. I'm a realistic romantic who loves surprises. I'm obsessed with Taylor Swift. Someday we'll co-write a song. She doesn't know I exist. Maybe pass this one along. Do you wanna go out with me? Do you wanna go out with me? Let's set it straight. It's like the 20. Oh, wait. That's not it. Wait. There's so many dates in this song. Okay, ready? I'm a professional. Okay. We've been hanging a few months. Maybe we'll make it. Things I should have said up front, but I guess I waited. Oh, I didn't date till really late in life. I think marriage is a sham, but I still want to be a wife. I think I want kids because I like them a lot, but I'm afraid I can't afford them unless my career takes off. But if it does, maybe it's okay if I don't have them. I'm afraid of childbirth and leaking outside the bathroom. It'd be a bonus if you could balance out my stingy boss, which is this guitar. I'll only marry for love. I'm not shallow, but I can't deny that my pockets are. Do you wanna go out with me? Do you wanna go out with me? Let's set it straight. It's like the 28th date. By now you know my clock runs 10 minutes late, and I burn what I cook, and I never make the bed. But if you're still listening, maybe I haven't scared you yet. I twist, break my hair, it drives people crazy. I'm messy and I'm the best at procrastinating. Do my half of the chores less than a quarter of the time, but I'll forgive your weaknesses if you overlook mine. I can be immature, but it's not always bad. I'll get you to laugh and flash you when you're sad. Got a good brain on my shoulders, a good heart in my chest. If you can stimulate those, I'll let you stimulate the rest. Do you wanna go out with me? Do you wanna go out with me? What if this song was like COVID-19 and it spread
across the nations and they'd all know me. And when they lifted the quarantine, be overwhelmed with applications, need a committee to screen. So don't apply if you love 45, and if you're not into my music, this is never gonna jive. I think this could be a good way to save some time. If you like wacky songwriters, I could be your bride. Do you wanna go out with me?
Yeah. Yeah.
Awesome, Shauna. Awesome. Love it. Very good. Wonderful.
That's great.
That was so good, Shanna. Oh my God, that was great.
It hasn't even worked yet.
Oh man, that was so good. You know, do you have I meant to ask this of Jenny and Rob and Shanna, do you have something coming up that you want us to know about? We're gonna go another round too, but if you have something you want to say now about a show that you have or something like that.
Sure. If you like, if you're on Facebook, you can find me at Shanna in a Dress on there. And every Saturday night, I do a Saturday night live stream show.
Can you
And
get on there if you're not on Facebook?
and if you're not on Facebook, then I
The link to our
recommend-
website is in the chat.
Yeah, I recommend connecting with me at shannanaddress.com. And I have a live album coming out in the next few months, and I'm sending it for free to everyone who signs up on my email list.
I did.
Okay, great. Thank you. What about Jenny and Robin? Don't you have a show tomorrow?
We do. We do a first Friday show called Jenny and Friends, Acoustic Fridays with Jenny and Friends. And so that's tomorrow on Facebook at 8 o'clock Chicago time. And we save those videos so they will be available. I'll put them up on our YouTube channel sometime after we go to the Don White School of figuring out how to do everything all at once, because it's extraordinary.
All right, so be sure and drop that in the chat so people can see it. All right. All right. So Maria, where's Maria? Maria. I see empty space there. Maria, are you gonna sing for us? There you are.
Here I am. Hi, everybody.
Maria. Hey Maria, thank you for doing this for us. I appreciate you.
Are you kidding? Thank you, Don. This was awesome. You guys are wonderful to hear you again. So wonderful. And I wish you could be in this room with us right now. But, so, let's see. Can you hear my guitar?
Yep.
Okay. So I didn't know what to play tonight. I'm really not performing very much these days, but we're actually having an open mic on Zoom Monday, June 8th. Peter Lendorf is going to host it. And if you want to sign up to be on that open mic, you can send me an email, Maria at thevanillabeancafe.com, or ask@thevanillabeancafe.com. I think that's in the chat, or it was in the chat earlier. So that's this Monday night, June 8th at 7 p.m. We've got about 5 or 6 people signed up so far. So there's still plenty of room and plenty of time to sign up for that. But this is a song that the late, great Dave Carter wrote, and Tracy Grammer shared this with me when I was doing a CD for families called, it was an ocean theme called Under the Mystic Sea. And this is called Celia Says. And I thought this was a good song to sing right now, so. Celia was a wise old gal, and a turtle green was she. She took me up upon her back, swam across the sea. I learned about the coast of Spain, the caves of Xanadu, and to do unto all critters as you'd have done to you. Because Celia says we all sail the seas together. Sister Celia says no one truly swims alone on the waves' bright crest, through the worst and best of weather, fin and feather, Celia says. She took me to a secret spot, 1,000 miles from shore, down to a sunken city upon the ocean floor. And there these words were written upon an ancient wall. As you'd have done to one of us, so you have done to all. Because Celia says we all sail the seas together. Sister Celia says no one truly swims alone. On the waves' bright crest, through the worst and best of weather, fin and feather, friends forever, Celia says. You have done to all. Somewhere on some sunny beach, far from the world of man, a turtle hides her treasure, eggs upon the sand. So make a wish for peaceful seas and oceans without end. And somewhere there will wait for you an old sea turtle friend. Because Celia says we all sail the seas together. Sister Celia says no one truly swims alone. On the waves' bright crest, through the worst and best of weather, fin and feather, friends forever, Celia says.
Woo! That was beautiful, Maria. Thank you so much. Very beautiful.
Thanks.
Oh, wow.
Thanks, Don, for inviting me to sing and play.
Oh,
That's fun.
thank you for doing it. It's great. Wonderful.
Oh, beautiful. Thank you so much.
So just so you know, everybody, Maria's my favorite singer in the world. I just love the tone of her voice. And when we were babies, she sang on my very first album called Two Vagabonds in Disguise. If you have that album, that's Maria's voice, 1990 style, on there. And she's just been one of my closest, dearest friends. She helped my wife. My wife hurt her knee and couldn't waitress anymore way back, and Maria helped her get into a university, and that changed the whole direction of my wife's life. And I just really love her and her husband and the whole thing. So I'm so glad you're here to see us all. So I guess it's my turn. Is it my turn?
Yep.
Are you sick of me yet? I'm sick of me. All right, here we go. I'm not sure if my friend Cheryl is still watching on YouTube, but if she is, I know that she likes this song a lot, and I'll play this for her. I lost my mother, I lost my father. Well, I really didn't lose them. I know exactly where they both are. It's not like they went for a walk, took a wrong turn and both got lost. It just hurts less to say I lost them than to say they're dead. Betty May is 82, having more fun than me and you. All she wants to do is laugh and sing. She's the biggest flirt I ever seen. Still flutters those baby blues like she did when she was 22. So much mischief in those eyes. I never seen someone more alive. More alive, waiting on the other side of all the sorrow and the trouble in your life. There are so many sad goodbyes in a long and well-lived life. If they don't break you, they can make you more alive. When my mother died, I was so smashed up inside. I was crying like a baby. I thought the pain might kill me. And Betty said, son, you won't believe how many loved ones I buried. My father, sister, my brother, son, my husband, and my mother. And every time I lose a friend, I think I'm never going to laugh again. I lay around and watch bad TV till this feeling comes over me. And then I put some music on and play my favorite song, dance around my living room like I did when I was 22, and shake loose of that pain inside on the day when I decide not only will I survive, I'm going to be more alive, more alive, more alive, waiting on the other side of all the sorrow and the trouble in your life. There are so many sad goodbyes in a long and well-lived life. If they don't break you, they can make you more alive. She said, go ahead, feel your pain. Watch bad TV for days, but when you're ready to come out and play, you come see Betty May. We'll put some music on and play your favorite song, dance around my living room like we both were 22. Shake loose of that pain inside on the day when you decide not only will you survive, you are going to be more alive, more alive, more alive, waiting on the other side of all the sorrow and the trouble in your life. There are so many sad goodbyes in a long and well-lived life. If they don't break you, they can make you more alive. There are so many sad goodbyes in a long and well-lived life. If they don't break you, in time they can make you more alive.
Beautiful, Dawn.
Thank you, Dawn. Beautiful.
All right. Well, okay, so let's go around again. What do you say? Do you think that the Benjamins might have another tune for us? What do you think?
Woohoo!
I'm joining my husband on the couch. Couch is a sometimes place for me because I love sitting cross-legged on the floor. But I just really love this song and I want to be closer to it.
This is a song, I wanted to do this song because I just saw a movie today. My work showed us a movie that was, reminded me that June is usually Gay Pride Month, so it's totally gay month. And it's been kind of co-opted by other things because of everything that's going on in the news. But this movie reminded me of something that I was aware of, which was that up until 1973, being gay was classified as an illness by the American Psychiatric Association. And people more forward-thinking people got together and made a plan and changed that. So people who are out there now trying to make some changes, it can be done. Make a plan, do it. That's what this song's about. definitely a sing along. So even if it's out of sync, just sing it.
Don't do
When,
it.
Don't do it.
when a man loves a man, well, there ain't no shame. It's pretty much like when a guy loves a dame, except the parties involved have the same equipment. Well, aside from that, it's not very different. In fact, it's almost exactly the same, and it's a good thing. More love in the world is a good thing. The more you bring, the more we get to sing about it. Who's to say who shouldn't and should? More love in the world is good. And when a lady loves a lady, well, that's totally fine. You see, sex can be flexible by design, and it's a beautiful thing when adults come together romantically. And it don't matter whether they're of the same gender, if they're of the same mind, it's a good thing. More love in the world is a good thing. The more you bring, the more we get to sing about it. Who's to say who shouldn't and should? More love in the world is good. And when a man sees a man, I can't help but imagine him stripped to his blue jeans, bare chest and abdomen. Or when a woman fancies a pretty girl, the nape of her neck so perfectly vertical, her hips so round she can imagine her hands on them. A good thing. More love in the world, it's a good thing. The more you bring, the more we get to sing about it. Who's to say who shouldn't and should? More love in the world is good. More love in the world is love in the world is love in the world is good. More love in the world is love in the world is love in the world is good. More love in the world is love in the world is love in the world is good. More love in the world is love in the world is love in the world is good. We should spend our lives in passion and romance. We mustn't squander these passing moments. And we mustn't squander these passing moments. Let's welcome these couples into family life. You know, husband with husband and wife with wife, in sickness and health and with shared insurance. It's a good thing. More love in the world, it's a good thing. The more you bring, the more we get to sing about it. Who's to say who shouldn't and should? More love in the world is good. And before you say gays have gone too far, well, consider how messed up some heteros are. When they get dressed up like boys and girls and then shoot at each other with poison arrows from opposite sides of the family car. Now it's a good, more thing. The more you bring, the more we get to sing about it. Who's to say who shouldn't and should? More love in the world is good. Well, you might not be used to a dude with another dude, but it's cool if they're in love with each other. Well, who's to judge if their love rings true? If they happen to be among the fortunate few whose affections can make each other's hearts flutter, it's a good thing. More love in the world, it's a good thing. The more you bring, the more we get to sing about it. Who's to say who shouldn't and should? More love in the world is good. More love in the world is love in the world is love in the world is good. More love in the world is love in the world is love in the world is good. Sing it with us. More love in the world is love in the world is love in the world is good. More love in the world is love in the world is love in the world is good.
Woo! That's great. Thanks, Jenny and Robin.
Thank you.
That was
Glad to be
awesome.
here.
That was fantastic. I'm so glad to share you with my little group over here. Thank you for that. All right, Shanna, what do you got? Are you still with us? Colorado. Is Colorado in the house? There it is. Colorado's in the house.
You guys, that was maybe the catchiest chorus I've ever heard. The more we get to sing about it. I was lip syncing along. Okay. It's a hard act to follow, but I got a little request in the private chat, so now I don't have to choose which song. This is a song. So quick story is that my stage name is Shanna in a Dress because I used to perform as Shanna Whore, which is a really weird stage name choice until you learn that I am a whore. I am from the whore family, and I come from a long line of whores. And as sticky of a stage name I thought it was, ultimately I'm gonna hold that responsible for why people weren't coming to my shows. So now I'm Shannon Address, and it's a little easier for people to pronounce. And I wrote this song that I'm gonna play. That was a request for Neil, so shout out to Neil, as a tribute to my dad. I remember staring at that picture on the wall. Daddy had a mustache, Mom had a long sleeve wedding gown. Don't think I didn't notice when she took it down. On Easter Day, we moved him out. I locked myself inside his new bathroom and let it out. A violent, silent cry. No one even knew that it hurt. It was a 25-minute drive to see the guy who raised me. He said, "Don't be a stranger, my baby girl." I was my daddy's little girl, and I was his whole world. And he gave me everything I have. He gave me everything. College dorm and new roommates. On holidays I'd drive back home, set an extra plate for Dad. He'd leave before breaking the wishbone. He could not handle being in the house he built. It was a 2.5-hour drive to see the guy who raised me. And I don't even call him, 'cause we fight. I was my daddy's little girl, and I was his whole world. And he gave me everything I have, and I gave nothing back. It's a 2.5-hour flight to see the guy who raised me. And we run out of things to say. We small talk and watch TV. And he says, "I don't even know you anymore." My daddy's little girl, and I was his whole world. And he gave me everything I have, and I give nothing back. I was my daddy's little girl, and I was his whole world. And time has taken what we had, but I still love my dad.
Beautiful, Shannon.
Oh, Shauna, it's so beautiful. Thank you so much. Oh, so beautiful.
Very beautiful. Very beautiful.
Shanna, you're killing me.
Oh my gosh.
You know, you hit me in my dad zone. Stop it.
Yeah.
That's why I requested it, Dawn. I love it.
You know, I think I said this to Shanna before, but uh, just thinking about it here, you know, as funny as you are, the fact that you can go to that other place there, that's where, in my opinion, that's when I started having a career, when I could balance those two things, when I could be really funny and then go all the way the other way and have it be good like that. So I'm sure that there's a good future for you. To me, it just seems just inevitable. So thank you
Yes.
so much for sharing that. That was
Yes.
great.
Woo! Very nice.
So much. It was great.
All right, Maria Sangiolo, do you want to sing another song for us?
I'll
Where
just
are
sing
you?
a real quick one because my kids are at home and I got to get home soon.
Big party at your house.
Big party, big party. This is kind of silly. I went to the garden to pick some peas, found them dancing in the evening breeze. The day was hot, so I joined right in, tapped my toes and began to grin. Peppers in a polka as the snow pea snapped, beans in a boogie as the cabbage clapped. Squash square dancing with the cha-cha-chard, watermelon waltzing all around the yard. I picked my supper with the greatest ease. Hey, everything is swinging in the dancing breeze. Garden to pick some greens, found them dancing in the evening breeze. The day was hot, so I joined right in, tapped my toes and began to grin, spinning with the spinach to a summer tune.
Oh, sorry.
She's muted.
Uh-oh, what happened?
I picked my supper with the greatest ease. Now everything is swinging in the dancing breeze.
Maria, thank you so much for making this happen, and best of luck with the Vanilla Bean for you and Barry and all the great things that you're doing over there. I'll talk to you later.
Okay, thank you so much for supporting the Pomfret Food Pantry tonight, everybody, and really thank you for showing up. This was a great night of music.
All right. So what does that mean? One more from me. I'm tired. All right, here we go. You know what? Let's see. Let me just look at this thing here. Peter, do you want us to do a song? Peter Lindorf?
You sure you don't want to do one?
Well, I'll do one after. How's that?
Sure, I can do one.
So
Do a
Peter
quick one.
runs the open mic over there. And he's a good guy. I've known him for a long time. He's got a good sense of humor as well, but he doesn't always do that. But look how equipped he was. Can you play a song? Well, it just happened to be all set up right here.
This is where I do it. This is where it happens. Wait a minute. Okay. Wait a minute. I'm getting an echo from somebody. Yeah.
Found it.
Okay. All right. I'll do a light one. Can we hear everything okay?
Yep.
Billy worked on Main Street at the little store. He just bought a little truck. It was a 4x4. Monday on his day off, he was driving down the street. He was getting kinda hungry for something good to eat. For lunch he bought a Slurpee. He bought a Hostess pie. Then he saw her working there, was love at first sight. Heather was a pretty gal, she was tall, she was slim. He smiled at her, she smiled at him. He smiled right back again. It's a marriage of convenience. It's a marriage made in heaven. Billy works at the Cumberland Farms and Heather at the 7-Eleven. Well, Billy bought a Hostess pie almost every day. 4 or 5 weeks later, he asked her on a date. They said they might get married. They never reached second base. But Heather always kept a few condoms just in case. They kept each other company most days of the week. Billy kept an eye on Heather, and she kept Billy on a short leash. Then one night at Billy's store while he was stocking shelves, Heather was off in the corner reading Cosmo to herself. It's a marriage of convenience. It's a marriage made in heaven. Billy works at the Cumberland Farms and Heather at the 7-Eleven. Well, a big old rusty car pulled up. It had one headlight out. A guy came in, he walked around. He was checking Heather out. He walked up to Billy and he pulled out a gun. Well, Heather knocked him out with a frozen burrito and a sack of hot dog buns. They vowed right then and there they'd never be apart. They had their wedding party in the 7-Eleven parking lot. All their guests had Slurpees, we all had Hostess pies. And one and all we offer this toast to the groom and his new bride. It's a marriage of convenience. It's a marriage made in heaven. Billy works at the Cumberland Farms and Heather at the 7-Eleven. Well, Billy and Heather, they run a little store. Heather had that burrito bronzed. It's hanging by the door. If you stop in to see them, tell them Pete said hi. And pick up a gallon of milk and a Hostess pie. It's a marriage of convenience. It's a marriage made in heaven. Billy works at the Cumberland Farms and Heather at the 7-Eleven. Thank you.
That was terrific.
Bravo! You just never know what's gonna happen at the after party, do ya? Janet Feld, you want to sing a song?
Yeah, I'd love to.
All right. Do you know Janet Feld, a great guitar player, songwriter, good friend to everybody in the world? That's her sweetheart there, John.
It's John. Oh my God. Oh, so great to hear everybody. I'm sorry I couldn't, I was teaching, so I just caught the end of your show, Don, but it just, I'm telling you, you make me cry, you make me pee myself laughing.
Well, you know, that was easier when we were younger. I mean, it's harder when we were younger. Now it's not so hard to make people.
Now we pee anyway.
You know, if I could make you sneeze, I could make you pee.
There's that. So I wrote this song one night when I couldn't sleep, and I was on Facebook, and a friend of mine posted a photograph of his car dashboard with a little plastic Buddha on it, drinking a cup of coffee and talking on the telephone. And I typed into the message that, the feed. I said, who's the Buddha talking to? And then as soon as I typed that in, then this song kind of came in whole. So I was sitting there lying in bed on Facebook, Who's the Buddha talking to? He's talking on the phone. Who's the Buddha talking to? He's talking on the phone. Jesus, Moses, Joan of Arc, and Muhammad too must be sharing deepest thoughts with him this afternoon. Could be sharing could be Lao Tzu talking all about the Tao Te Ching, or Lilith on the stars and the phases of the moon. Oh, who's the Buddha talking to? He's talking on the phone. Who's the Buddha talking to? He's talking on the phone. Throughout time, when the prophets were called to lead, they took a leap of faith with no guarantees. Every time, every one of them questioned the divine, then chose to show us how to walk in love and peace. So who's the Buddha talking to? He's talking on the phone. Who's the Buddha talking to? He's talking on the phone. So everyone is worthy to heal someone in need. Every day it can be you who gets to plant the seed. An act of kindness seems so small, but is bigger than the sea. When someone pays it forward and it ripples endlessly, ripples endlessly, ripples endlessly. Oh, who's the Buddha talking to? He could be talking to you. Who's the Buddha talking to? He could be talking to you. Who's the Buddha talking to? He could be talking to you. Who's the Buddha talking to? He could be talking to you. Could be talking to you. Could be talking to you. He could be talking to you.
Janet, that was beautiful. Thank you so much.
Oh, that was awesome, Janet. Thank you. I love you. I love you. I love you.
I'll be back.
All right. So here, this is what I think. I think my two guests should each do a song, and then we'll check out. How's that sound? So, Robin and Jenny, do you got one more in you, and then Shanna, and then we'll tuck the old man to bed after that. How's that sound?
We don't see any old men here.
Let me turn my camera on.
Sure.
Okay, that basement. So boy, have we loved being part of this night. What a special night. Shanna in a dress. Everybody who's played tonight, you guys are phenomenal. We play together as Jenny and Robin Benneman, but we also have our own kind of projects and things. So, this is one that Robin wrote when I was making regular trips to the East Coast, but we were not yet married.
This is a song about Midwesterners hanging out on that coast. I hit the water with my daughter, get some sun with my son, play pinball with my in-laws, have breakfast with my ex. I hit the road to Rhode Island. Yes, I love that little state. I'm smiling in Rhode Island on that big Atlantic lake. Well, oh son, my son, let me take you to the ocean. Oh, sweetie, sweetie, let's go see the sea. Oh, daughter, daughter, you know I could never doubt her, 'cause my baby's even smarter than her mama used to be.
Find $1,000 bill inside a yellow oyster shell. Give it to the giant squid to buy a pair of mittens with. Play baseball with a lobster claw. Do a pub crawl with a seagull. Smiling in Rhode Island with the New Yorkers and the fish. Oh son, my son, let me take you to the ocean. Oh sweetie, sweetie, let's go see the sea. Oh daughter, daughter, you know I could never doubt her, 'cause my baby's even smarter than her mama used to be. I'm lying low on a beach towel. You never know who I'll meet now. Put sunblock on my son's back, 'cause my baby hates to burn. I will cover him with lotion. I will toss him in the ocean. Listen to him holler, and now it's his sister's turn. Well, oh son, my son, let me take you to the ocean. Oh, sweetie, sweetie, let's go see the sea. Oh, daughter, daughter, you know I could never doubt her, 'cause my baby's even smarter than her mama used to be. Catch a hammerhead and reel 'em in, fry 'em up in a pie tin. A lightning bug from up above will light the fire with lightning. Pour pepper in the ocean, wave back at the waves. Smiling in Rhode Island, this is how we spend our days.
Well,
Oh son, my son, let me take you to the ocean. Oh sweetie, sweetie, let's go see the sea. Oh daughter, daughter, you know I could never doubt her, 'cause my baby's even smarter than her mama used to be. Well, oh son, my son, let me take you to the ocean. Oh sweetie, sweetie, let's go see the salty sea. Wow, daughter, daughter, you know I could never doubt her, 'cause my baby's even smarter than her mama used to be. I was showing off my pet ant there. I don't know if you could quite see it.
Woo! Thanks, Jenny. Thanks, Robin.
Thank you, guys. Wonderful to be here.
That was great. Well, good luck tomorrow night. If you want to check them guys out, find them on Facebook. They're doing their show. What is it, tomorrow or Saturday? Tomorrow.
Tomorrow night, 8 o'clock Chicago time, 9 o'clock your time.
Okay. All right, everybody. These are two good folks, and they are sure are good. Thank you so much for driving all the way from Chicago to the show tonight. Appreciate it. All right. So Shanna, why don't you do one, and as we start winding this thing down. Do you need me to unmute you, or let's see?
Got it.
Oh, you got it. Okay.
I just love you guys. It's fun how I feel like I really met you as a result of your songs. Like, the internet does bring people together. Thank goodness.
We feel that way too.
Good. right, I'm gonna play this one. This is the song I decided I is gonna play over the speakers at my funeral when I die. Because I want my funeral to be a big Shanna roast. Roast me at my funeral and make sure there's good food. Drink wine with my family and play a round of taboo. Wear bright pink and costumes. Swap stories with my friends. Do a few rounds of boggle and be glad I'm not there to win. Let the speakers play my high school band concert CD collection. And shut up for my French horn solos. Pretend to be impressed by them. Oh, roast me at my funeral. Don't pretend I was a saint. I know I'm a lot of good things, but perfect I sure ain't. Tell my best friends I'll haunt them on their birthdays if they let me. And don't be creeped out if I'm a few days late. They'll know it's really me. Oh, roast me at my funeral. Whoever gets the most hoots and hollers wins the amount left in my bank account, which is maybe $200. Share it with whoever gets stuck being the one to clean my room and hide all the porn. I'm just kidding. Who has porn in hard copy? Roast me at my funeral. To my lover, if I have one, that I cheated a ton. Won't be true, but it'll help him to not feel guilty. Moving on. Tell my family I'm sorry. I gave you all that grief. Took me some time, but now I realize you were the perfect family for me. To my children, if I am so blessed, though you probably weren't planned. I had no clue what I was doing, but I'll still protect you if I can. And to you who's out there listening, you made a difference for me. Whether friends since the first grade or you're smiling at me now from your seat. But please play all my music, 'cause I'm a narcissist. You might forget me, but remember my hooks, and that's the best compliment. Yeah, roast me at my funeral. We all know that I was unusual. So don't hold back, I'll look down and laugh. Or maybe I'll look up and laugh. Just please roast me at my funeral.
Shanna, thank you so much. Thank you so much for everything that you're bringing to this world. And I mean that for everybody who performed tonight and everybody. This is just great. So we do this every Thursday until it's, we're just going to keep doing it till it's just me and Brandon here.
Me.
And Sarah, of course, yeah.
She's a lifer.
Next week we are performing for Uptown Concerts, which is out of Maryland, and had a concert series going for 30 years, and they were all struggling. So we're gonna try to do a little something for them. I'm not sure what kind of secret squirrels we'll have hiding out in the back of room after that, but we will do that. Let me sing this song for you, and then we'll say goodbye. But again, let's have a big thank you for everybody, Maria and Peter and Janet and the Benjamins and Shannon in the dress.
Very nice.
Bravo, bravo, bravo.
Bravo.
All right, so here, those of you that come all the time, here, let me dig one out from the bottom of the from the never playlist. I want you to take care of yourselves. You're no good to anybody if you're not taking care of yourselves. And the more pressure that's on us these days, the easier it is to be a martyr. To martyr your good health, your good well-being. I'm sure Janet and I talk about this stuff all the time. I'm sure she agrees with me on this. We need you to be good. We need you to be strong. These are really interesting, weird times, and who you are when times are hard is who you are, and it starts with taking care of yourself. So you're no good to anybody else if you're no good to yourself. So start there. This is a little song called "The Painter," and that's gonna be it for. Usually, what happens is I'll sing this song, then I'll unmute everybody, and you can all leave one at a time, or we can just bullshit a little bit. But we'll see how that goes. We've done a lot of bullshitting, haven't we, tonight? All right. In this portrait of sadness, in the big gallery, there is a man in the foreground in such misery, but the horizon behind him is vibrant and bright. We see him staring into darkness, but covered in light. If I were the painter, I would paint you with wings, and I would dress you in the colors that come in the spring. And when your heart was in darkness and you were alone, I'd paint sunshine around you and wings to carry you home. In this portrait of anger and low self-esteem, we see a woman in danger of a life without dreams. As I stare at her shoulders, Lord, all I can see is this mountain of burden where wings ought to be. If I were the painter, I would paint you with wings, and I would dress you in the colors that come in the spring. And when your heart was in darkness and you were alone, I'd paint sunshine around you and wings to carry you home. This face in the mirror, this portrait of me, is constantly changing for the whole world to see. But the hand on the brushes that color this face is the hand that belongs to the person it paints. If I am the painter, I will paint me with wings, and I will dress me in the colors that come in the spring. And when my heart is in darkness and I am alone, I will paint sunshine around me and wings to carry me home. I will paint sunshine around me and wings to carry me home.
Thank you, John. Love you so much, buddy. Oh,
Welcome, everybody. All right, so that's it. I'm unmuting all of you. I don't care if your dogs bark. I don't care about anything anymore. Shanna and Jenny and Robin and everybody, thank you so much, all of you.
Bravo, bravo.
Great to hear everybody.
Yeah.
amazing, John.
You're welcome.
Amazing.
Bye now. Take care. Shanna, stay in touch with me. Jenny, Robin, stay in touch with me. All you people, don't lose me. I'm holed up here, but I have this portal.
We love the fact that you have that portal.
Yes, yes.
Everybody was wonderful.
I totally agree.
Thank you. Hello, Reverend. How are ya?
Okay,
Good to see you. Thanks for coming.
absolutely.
Everything okay with you?
Son didn't want to go to bed.
Good.